So, hello everybody. Thanks for being here. It's a lot of people, and I'm happy to see all of you. The first thing I want to thank is it's the SAPPO, Johan and Yolanda for inviting me. And the other thing that I want to say, it's been only a week here, and I think that I'm not sure if I'm the right person to give that presentation, because I learned a lot from you guys this week, and I hope that I keep still learning things. So now the other part, it's thanks that I'm the next one after Susie, because if not, Sana will take over me. So I had the same feeling. I was tempted to say, like, she better do the presentation than me. So maybe that was another thing. So another thing that I wanted to say, and I think it's important, and Susie put me that on the stage. I mean, I got a lot of insights from her, and I think like all of you. But the good thing was, she said, listen the consumers, right? So that was one of the insights that she was saying. I would align that or link that with my presentation or my talk today. Listen the next generations, listen the people that it's around you, because they will give you a lot of insights, and try to avoid seeing your business, your family farm, only a thing that it's 5 square meters or whatever is the land, okay? So that was the talk. The talk is, should my family be farming with me? And now I have to say sorry, because probably not. So the first answer that came to me would say, like, probably not. So then if I'm saying that, I will be the pessimistic one coming here. But thanks God that I have a lot of tryptophan in my blood, and I eat a lot of pork, so I'm a happy person. And I would say, I hope that we change the mind after I finish my presentation. But the first answer would be, probably not. Why I'm saying that? First of all the things when you research and you try to look data for the things that happens in the industry and the companies and enterprises, it's the first generation is trying to work really hard, building something behind them and leaving something for the next generations. Somehow the second, the third generations are playing with it and making that empire higher, bigger, and awesome. And then it leads to the third, fourth, or go on generations that will spend all that money, enjoy the life, the best ones in the world, and maybe destroy that. So we don't want that to happen. But that's the reality. And why I'm saying it's a reality, not because I'm here today and I come from Spain, and the first part of my presentation or my bio was that I have experience in Spain or on the European market. No, it's because the data is telling that to us. So it's only 3% of the family farm business, and sorry, not the family farm, the business that are with the families that will succeed to the third generation or more. So when you say that number, now you understand why my first answer was probably not. Because if I see that, I probably would encourage you to do something else. But then, just because we don't have to do it, it doesn't mean that we cannot do it. So that's the first thing that I would like to give to all of you. So that's the title of that slide. It is what is expected, but I think that we can do something to change it, okay? So one of the quotes or one of the stories that I wanted to link that it's a nice thing, we all know here about the Godfather movies and the stories. Vito Corleone on the early times, he became one of the most important people or mobsters in New York, right? So he started as a clerk and he built all that empire. Making the story very short, because that's 3 movies and it's 9 hours of movies, something like that. But making the story very short, you know that he wanted his son to lead that, but he was killed. Then he chose one of the youngest son of the family, and then he started building and expanding the business. And then, what's the key part that I want that to link today? Because of course, family is very important, but what he realized is the grandson bastard was the one that took the company, right? Took the business, the empire, and make it even bigger. So what I want to mean by that, and he was a bastard, if you like that word or not, for me means in this presentation today, don't only think that your family needs to do the same that you have been doing for the last 40, 50 years. That's the first thing that needs to come to your mind. Your next generations are here to be part of the family farm, but if according to the data, they might not be with you. They might leave. Why? Because Susie was the one telling us the new generation's people has another set of mind. The world is changing so fast, and they are thinking differently. So we need to start listening them. What are their thoughts? What do they think? Because then we are the ones that knows how the business runs, but we are the ones that knows the next generation will help us to carry that business. So if we are clever enough and we plan well enough, we can take the strengths of that new people, young people, and use it wise. It doesn't mean that if I'm the best farm manager of the world, my son will be the best farm manager. He maybe is good in finance, he maybe is good in other things. So keeping that in mind, that was part of the beginning. Then now, as I told you, I'm a happy person, optimistic person, so I think that I don't want to leave you with the bad taste of my first sentence. There are more than 600 million farms worldwide. 90% of those, so close to 500 millions, are run by individuals or by families. 500 millions of those. And making that even shorter, 80% of the food that we produce in the world will be produced by family farms. So keep that in mind. We are important here. We need to be really proud of what we do. We need to be really engaged with the environment, with the surrounding, with the local people, all these things, but we need to be proud. What we are doing is something to be proud. And one of my end slides will be saying something that Susie was also saying. We need to show it to the communities. The problem that we have nowadays, and not only me, I didn't grow up in a farm, sadly. I had the passion to be with pigs, thanks to the university and thanks to some of the people that I was surrounded, but I didn't grow up. If I didn't choose that path, I will not know nothing about that industry. So we need to help the people, that it's many more people out there, to know what we do, how we do it, and to show them that what we do is something to be proud. So here it's the only slide, I promise you, that will be a little bit like, not maybe for this kind of talks, but it will give you some insights. The first part on the left, it tells you that would be the market trends, what is happening in the world, right? So domestic consumption of protein, it's going down on the region. So probably not here, but on the region. And we always need to think what happens outside of South Africa, it also affects us, okay? That's an important thing. So the trading is really volatile, so it moves a lot. So it's an industry nowadays. In the past, it was maybe not that much. It's every time it changes so fast, so rapidly, and we need to be prepared to hold some bad times. You know more than me what that means. So losing some money some periods and making some money and being really aware of what's going on. Here, the last one, maybe my colleague Craig that is going to be speaking later today, I'm saying increasing productivity. I've been here a few days visiting some of you. Man, you are doing a good job. Productivity is going up, performance is going up, FCR is going up, so I think that the improvement is there. So genetics has several things to say on that one, but I always say that, even if I work for a genetic company, I don't mind. The most important is you. It's not the genetics, it's not the things that come. They are important, they need to keep improving, but the most important is the people that makes it, and you are making that happen. So that's gonna make a regional oversupply, so it's gonna be more product in the market. So that's one thing. On the right side, what I'm telling you as a summary, that it's going to be several things. African swine fever, any other diseases that will affect the production. The feed cost, you know the feed cost, how volatile has been on the last few months or few years. Let's talk about what I said before. Don't think South Africa only. We've seen that the Russian-Ukraine situation is affecting globally everybody. So feed cost, it's really moving up and down depending on the things. And of course, I'm not talking about climate or environmental, that we are having some things changing on the world that will affect also. And then, let's not forget, welfare, environmental rules are here to stay. So they are maybe a little bit slower from what we are facing in Europe, but they will come. And not all of them come with a bill with it. So you need to pay for it, you want to take some out of it. If not, it's a balance that you don't play well. So some of them will make you spend some money without increasing productivity. I'm not going to talk about decreasing. I always think that welfare is there to improve what we do, but not all of them will give us money. So we need to invest on that. So it's going to be something. All these things, it's going to make less margins, more volatile prices on the market, and for sure, what we need to do, it's going to make us more competitive. If we are not competitive, forget about staying here. Then I put here 3 ways. That's the 3 ways that I or many of you will think that are the strategies to follow. One of them would be, as you can see on the left side, consolidation. That's something that it's happening. It's happening everywhere, it's happening here, and we need to take into consideration when we plan our strategy. Consolidation is here to stay and will keep happening. That doesn't mean that family farm will disappear, but consolidation is here. And again, I'm going to put one slide about consolidation, but it's another person today speaking about the Spanish industry, so I don't want to go deeper on that one and take something from them. Vertical integration. Vertical integration is a model that it's been wide use worldwide, but here somebody that saw my presentation told me, Isaac, make sure that you explain what is integration for Spain. In Spain, what does it mean when I refer to integration today during the presentation? It means that one company, one family farm company, for example, makes a deal with another farm company buys all the piglets to get stronger on the selling point, so it has more volume to sell. The family that makes the contract will receive a fee for the pig, for the winner, for the fattener pig, or for the carcass, whatever you sell to him. And then that company can keep growing. And then they might decide, okay, we grow with feed mill production, we can grow with the slaughtering production. So you are vertically integrated. It means that you control all the phases. That's also an important strategy. And it doesn't mean vertical integration is something, it's a dream. We cannot do it because that's for big companies. I will put you some examples of companies that in the last 10, 15 years has been vertically integrated, and they are on a size that are the envy on Spain industry now. Specialization, that's another way to choose. You might say, like, I like what I'm doing, I know my local market, I know the people, I know my consumers, so I can have that niche and have very expertise on that niche, then get higher margins, so I keep profitable, right? So it's another way of keeping there. And all of them will not exclude the last one, diversification. Don't think, and I know that you don't. So when I was doing that presentation, it's like you prepare something for everybody, but I know that most of you think wider than the family farm. Because farming pigs, it's one thing. Being a family farm can be wider than that. You can think about other investments, other businesses that are out there that are willing to be taken, and probably some of your family members can become experts on that other businesses. So that's another way. And maybe I'm giving too many of the bullet points that I wanted to say now, but I think that's another thing that I want that you keep it. So I will give you only a few wake-up calls, and one would be this one for me. So as I told you, very, very, very fast, that one. It's only to show you in 2015, 65% of the Spanish industry was integrated. And as you can see there, 18% were independents. So let's not confuse. The independent ones are family farms, all of them, but the integrated ones, also some of them are family farms. So don't confuse that 2021, we lost a lot of the independent people because they were weaker in front of the world, how the world is changing. They were weaker, they needed something else. So some of them, they moved to be part of an integration system. But now I'm saying on 2021, 74%. But today, Spanish industry is more or less around 80% integrated. And on top of that now you will see 3 examples. On top of that, 60% of the slaughter capacity is controlled by 36 players. So I want you to get the dimension. And sorry if not all of you know, Spain now has 2.7 million of sows. Okay, so it's a big market. So if I talk about examples that I wanted to give you, that's one clear example of one company, it's a family company, that decided, I don't want to get that bigger, I don't want to get that crazy worldwide, but I want to do something that it's meat quality focus, it's a special product, and I want that for my local people. Local people can be province-wise, and now they are expanding to more provinces and more regions inside the Spain. But, I mean, what I mean on that one, they have huge margins. Huge margins. So they are doing a specific product. We cannot do with all the products, but in that case, that was the direction that they took. Here is another example. I will put now 2 examples of something that I want to comment before I show them. Balcom Punch is the largest integration company in whole Europe. They have a little bit more probably than, they control a little bit probably more than 250,000 sows, only that company. They started as a flour business. So they were moving flour from some places to Spain, and they were doing the bread and the bakery, and they started like that. Then they realized that being on the cereal business and the grain business, they were doing some grains, and they decided, wow, we have grain, we can start growing pigs. And they started growing some finisher pigs, only for the excedent that they were not using. They created a feed mill, then they created more finisher pigs, sow farms, then they start growing like that. It got to a point that they had to decide, if we keep growing with our own money, it's going to be slow growth. That's what I want you to listen very carefully. If you need to grow only with your money, it's slow. But if I call the neighbor and I say like, hey, why we don't do a deal together, an agreement, you have that community, and we sell together the pigs to that place, we get stronger together, we have stronger sales propositions, and we start growing. So what they did is they built that integration system. And nowadays, imagine, that was on the 70s they started, and nowadays, 50 years or 60 years later, they are that size. Of course, they have a goal or a vision like all the companies we do. So in their case, it's better food for a better world. what I mean by that, I like the last part. What's the story and what's the structure? The structure for that company, it's we transform individual effort, all of you, into a collective power. So imagine how strong is that sentence. And I don't want to go longer on that. If not, I can be all day talking about these companies because I think that they are amazing. That would be the other side. Imagine the story differently. Here we have some slaughter plants that they are only slaughter plants, right? So they kill or slaughter your pigs for a price, and then they pack and they produce the meat. That company, it was a slaughter plant company. They were having, it's the largest one that kills more pigs or slaughter more pigs in Spain. So they were in the other side of the supply chain. They were a slaughter company. What they decided is, come on, we start to see that we need supply, and sometimes that margins are that volatile that we don't have always the same supply quantity. They start building farms, sow farms. So they did from the right side to the left side, and now they become to the farmer side. They have pigs, they have sows, they have lands, they have cereals, they have grains, and also they diversified with other things, with energies and some other industries, as the tree industry and the wood industry. But it's also another example that you can start as a pig farmer or you can start in the other side. Both things can connect, so both sides. And then you extract the best of all the little margins that you are losing on the supply chain, and you get all of them. And this one is the last one. Why I'm putting that one? This one is the second or the third largest company in Europe, in Europe. It's Piensos Costa. They have about 150, so more or less the South African size. This company, I know the owners and I have a good relationship with them as well. They started, 20 years ago with less than 8,000 sows. So they were not that big. I know that 8,000 doesn't mean to be nothing, but they were not that big. Today, they have a winery. They have the largest solar panel facilities in the country. They invest in resorts, hotels, all these things, lodging. So I don't know if I forget, but they invest in cars. They have dealerships and car places. So what they did, and that's another thing that I want to connect with you, that family is also a big family, right? So one of the brothers or one of the son of the brothers went to a city, a big city, and he started selling cars as a business. He started selling cars, then what they decided, we have some money, some profit, you know that profit need to be spent. If you don't spend some profit, then you pay more taxes. So they decided, hey, let's buy one of the dealerships. And he's going to be the CEO of the dealership. He doesn't have to come to farm with us. He's the CEO of the dealership. The other one of the family members, it was well known that he was more curiosity on that wine part, resorts, hotels, those things. So they invest that money in different ways. Again, I'm not saying that tomorrow you need to be like that, but I have always that mentality is look up instead of looking down, right? So check upwards, because it's some nice stories there that you can take some of the pills from them and learn from them, because what they did is huge. And I think that we have to be proud that you can grow up and diversify and have success. So it doesn't mean that you cannot have success. So here it's a little bit the only slide that will be talking about what's family farms, what are the benefits of a family farming, what are the challenges, the opportunities, and in the last one would be what do we have to consider, right one? So this one, let's start for the benefits. Shared expertise and responsibility. Come on, I don't have to tell you that. I've been a couple of days in farms here. Come on, the knowledge that you have, how responsible you feel from your business, that commitment, that it's probably the next one, the attitude and commitment, it's incredible. So that's an strength. I'm a worker. I think that I have commitment. I think that I have ambition. I think, or I hope that I'm a good worker, but I will never be the same if it was my business. The power that you put in your farm, it's completely different. So use that as a strong point. I think that's one of your strongest points. Long-term vision. I put that one on the benefits, but sometimes I feel like it might be a benefit or it might be a challenge. But to play a little bit, because I met some of you these days and we discussed my presentation. So thanks also to the people that I met this week, because it helped me to drive the conversation. Long-term vision, future generations. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the old generations are thinking that everything they are building is for the next generations. That's a really nice thing to say, because that comes from the inside of the heart. So that's a very beautiful thing. But the next generations are not like you, as I said before. So only thinking that you are doing something for them, but they need to do the same things that you did, and not trying to do things differently, it will maybe put you on a side and stop that improvement or that dream that you have that it's your business will be for long term there, and it will be from the next generations. So I think sometimes it might be in both sides. And then the values and tradition. So the values that you give to the workers, the values that you give to the family of unity or work in collaboration that we were talking today, they are completely different than in a private company. So I think this thing is another strength. Let's move to challenges. And I'm going to leave the first one for the last one, because it's a very strong one. So the second one, time dedicated to work on your own business. I think that my father, and I will put that example, though we put in examples that I learned this with here. I think that most of you know what I mean by that. But my father, when I leave for a Sunday trip, he's like happy. It's like, yeah, you need to hard work. You fly on Sunday because you need to be there on Monday at first thing in the morning to work. I say like, yeah, but come on, new people and young people. And now when I met some of the next generations here, I feel like I'm not young. Sorry about that. You said that I was young. I'm not that young. But I don't think that work is the only thing in life. So the new generations are thinking a little bit more on, hey, I want to spend time with the family. I want to travel. I want to biking. I see here some people like, I want to do sports. So work, it's not the only thing in life. Although my grandfather and my father were more of the things, it's from Mondays through Sunday, I work from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every single day, and I'm really happy that I can work and I'm healthy to work. Okay, maybe that values put me where am I today, so I'm really happy about that, I have that values, but for my kids, I want something different. I have the opportunity to travel here with my wife, so it's something that it's unique. If you only think about work, you will not do those kind of things. So you need to think a little bit, hey, I want to take a week holidays, I travel, and I'm going to see this country that, by the way, what I've seen up to now, it's amazing. And they told me what I want to see, it's even better. So I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity. Market volatility, lack of skills, that's a very important one. Lack of skills, experience, need of external expertise. So check the last sentence, it gives you something already, what I'm going to say. So the skills that you have, it's not the same one from your brother, your cousin, your nephew, your son. They are not exactly the same. So try to be strong enough and open-minded enough to detect what are the strengths and use them for your benefit as a company, as a family farm, but stop willing that he needs to be a mirror than you. He needs to be your mirror and doing the same things that you did. So I keep saying those things because the need of maybe external expertise is necessary nowadays. Why you don't want to have somebody like, I don't know, a good financial person that it comes from the outside if he's very good and he's going to improve the business? I don't care if he's a son or not. Or why do I want to have a good farm manager? You go to other farms, and yesterday with one of the persons that is here, he was telling me, I found some good, I don't know, it was a farrowing manager in another place, and we are really happy to have him. Why you cannot make these people grow and become farm managers so the family can take to that diversification part, to that strategy part, and have more time of thinking instead of being hands-on all the day long. So, and then succession plan. That's going to be here in the last slide. I really want to think succession plan sounds awful, right? It's a word that sounds like, do I have to die? Do I have to die? Do I have to do something? I think this part, it's really important that you play your strategy here. You need to really plan your succession. Doesn't look like something bad. Make clear things, clear objective. Tell the people that is in your family clear objective for them, because that's going to be the only way to collaborate. So if you don't play clear things, that's not going to go anywhere. And now it's my last two slides, so I'm perfectly on time. That one, I think here what you see in these balloons, it's the things that you have to consider. Let's imagine I'm the owner of the family farm, or me and my cousin, we are the owners, and we have the next generations coming. My father is still around because, you know, a real farmer is still there since he died, so he's still there, but he moved, he stepped away. Remember, you can also step away, step aside, not away, sorry, aside. So we need to check the skills versus the contributions that we can play with the family. So let's be really strong on that. Find the skills. Work and relationships. Working with the family is not easy. Working with your wife, it's not easy, right? So working with the family members is not easy because that level of trust, confidence can be sometimes a little bit more than the line. So make sure that you don't always think, I'm the right one, I have the right. Try to be a little bit open on that one and try to cross the line saying, hey, what do you think about that? So working relationships in families sometimes are difficult, but I think it's the best thing you can have. Then if the family is unified, it's a very good thing. Financial and economic considerations. I was saying that at the beginning. you cannot have that strategies that, hey, tomorrow I'm going to buy this place and I'm going to rent it for conferences. No, probably the economy doesn't allow you to do that things. But check your strategy in financials and make sure that you choose the path, you keep going, and you make your small step-ups. And I'm pretty sure that we can do many things. And when the market is good, that I'm sure it's going to come back up, we'll have some margin and we'll make some money and we can do some things. Share interest and commitment. I already mentioned that one. Roles and responsibilities. Be clear on that one. If my brother is good in finance and he's the CFO and he's the finance guy, even if I'm the owner, I don't have to tell him what to do. We can comment together, we can discuss together, but he has the final choice. If I'm the production manager, what happens inside the farm is my deal. I lead that part, I take the decisions, I comment with them, but I take this. So make sure that the roles are clear, and then probably the family will be together, and the external people of the family will add value to us. Teamwork, nothing to say on that one. And I already mentioned, be sure that you do your succession plan. So my last sentence, everybody likes to finish with something. It was, first remember, globalization, good performance is not enough. You must be competitive. Diversification and specialization that I told you. And grow your assets faster than your expenses. Maintain unity in the family among the business owners and develop the right talent, even if it's internal or external. Develop the right talent, choose them, and help them to grow. So, through the whole history, not only the strongest one is alive, not the most intelligent, normally it's the one that it's better to adapt, the flexible one, the one that finds, hey, the things can be done differently, and let's think that like that, okay? Thanks so much.